Good morning everyone. So today we're at an Audi. It's an Audi A4 TDI Ultra model and I'm sure this is a 2015. So the customer's complaint with this is an Adblue fault and it said there'd be no restart after 550 miles. So we've done a full scan and they're all green. How can that be? So let me see. Brake, electronics, brakes to do access, climate control, steering, immobiliser, passenger door radio. Oh, reducing AC reducing agent metering system. So let's see. Go into that. So you'd think that would be the Adblue system there. So I go OK. So read DTCs, nothing. Read data stream. So select all. RPM counter 0, reductant not activated. It says reductant heater control no malfunction. Reductant not activated. 19 degrees, not activated. Reductant level actual raw value 3.11 volts, don't know. Reductant level diagnostic state no malfunction. Reductant pressure actual raw voltage 0.62. Reductant pressure minus 207 millibar. Pumps off, not activated. RPM. Pressure, no sorry. That's temperature. And I think it kind of repeats itself again there anyway. So how comes that? I'll see. I'll put the car off and we'll let you see it again. So we'll start up. Adblue fault, system fault, no restart in 550 miles. See owner's manual. So would there be anything in here to tell us what's wrong with it? If my... No, there's nothing in there. So back. Servicing and checks. Let's try this. Chassis number. What a strange one is this? Let's go to AC. No. Now if there's no any codes and that's complaining about the Adblue system, how can that be? I'm talking to myself here, but let's come back out of that. I think we need to give this a drive. Let's see what engine's in this. I would imagine it's a 2 litre. Yep, so this is the 2 litre TDI. And you see this is the one that usually clogs in here with the Adblue system. With the Adblue, it goes into the EGR cooler. But let's go and drive her and see where we can go for here. No codes. Here's just a thought. We could go, before we even drive this thing, if we've not got any codes and we've got a message on the dashboard, do you think somebody's maybe remapped this? Don't know. So what I thought we could do is go and look in the number 19. This one here. This is it data bus interface. We'll look at that. So read DTCs. Nothing there, right? So then we can go into, is it adaptions? So we go into the gateway module, right? Enter. So we've got all this bump here. So it's a number 19 data bus OBD interface, OK. Then we go into long code. So we'll go coding installation list. So you can see here that we have AC reducing agent metering system. So let's code that out. So code out. So it says not coded. So we'll go coding. Do you want to change? yes. OK. Right, so we'll take the key out and see if that gets rid of the message on the dashboard. Let's lock the car. That's it, went away. We'll open the car again. So put the key in. And it still never got rid of the problem. So clearly that did not work. So let's go into long coding. So you see it's got at the top AC reducing agent metering system not coded. So let's do another code scan and see if it comes up. Go back. Go back. Go back. We'll do a smart scan again. So you can see that clearly never worked because we've now got a fault in the gateway module. Hitting those. So look, control module incorrectly coded. So we'll just need to code that back in again. So that got rid of that code after I coded the module back in. Let's take this a run. Right, I've took this a run, and this Adblue light is still on, and no codes at all. So Dave Sterling sent me a little piece of information. And he said to check the NOx system out, you've got to have the exhaust temperature sensor number 4 above 240 degrees. Now this is what we have here, so that's good to go. We'll then look at our NOx content. NOx. Oh dear, there's hundreds. So let me pick them. You ever think you're wasting your time? Anyway, I looked at NOx, right? And it said, I can't even find my position. NOx bank 1 sensor 1 installed, right? NOx bank 1 sensor 2 not installed. So we've only got one NOx sensor, right? So he says he's at 147 parts per million. So surely we should get him down to maybe double digits. Would that work? So let's try this and see how it goes. So that NOx sensor is actually working. So watch this. So when I accelerate, it goes up. Right, we agree with that. So I can't graph this, sorry. And when I decelerate, it goes to a high number. That's about right enough. When I was coming along the road, it was going really high. Right, so wait till I get along straight here. It's a bad day when you've got to get another scan tool out. So, let's see if this. So it's delivering the same, no faults, no faults, no faults. So there's nothing in it either. So let's go into this. See if this lets us in here. Okay. Read DTCs. Nothing. Go back the way. Let's see a long adaptation by list. Nothing in that either. Strange. So we're now on our third machine, maybe even our fourth machine. Still cannot get any codes out of this thing, so how are you meant to get any direction? I've been assured that this car has never been remapped or anything like that, so it's a mystery. So I'm into the reductant agent module, and you can see here's the PIDs here, so it seems to be reducing agent pump activation 50%, end stage active, pump for reducing agent speed 1.3, whatever that is. There's no error, it says. Unless Adblue injectors blocked, I don't know. Temperature 35 degrees. Pressure control fast. 0, no error, 0, not active. Not active, no error. 36. Pressure sensor for reducing agent measured 5000 millibar. Pressure sensor for reducing agent voltage 2.8, no error. 830 vehicle speed, and that's it. Functional tests, actuation tests. So it's pump, SCR, heater. So let's try the first one. Ensure the engine is on, ignition on. So that's back on. Okay, continue. So we'll go start. So it's giving us a countdown. So that done nothing. Test complete. That's it. Don't know. Need to get some info. So next scan tool. I even tried OBD11 because I haven't got access to VCDS, so I thought, let's try this and see if that can pick up any codes. But once again, a clean bill of health. So I actually went into the data stream, and I quite like the interface in this. It's quite clean. So there's no all that gobbledygook that you got on the launch or the top down. So each of the PIDs come up nice. But one thing is, you can't display all the PIDs at one time, and to update them, you see when you flick it up, is a wee bit slow. But still, I think if you're a wee bit stuck, this would get the business done. And if you own just, say, a Volkswagen Audi, I think this would be more than sufficient. There's a lot, say, other bits and pieces in that tool that you can do with, like OBD11, that you can't do with, like top-down, snap-on, etc. So, but once again, no joy with this scan tool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I've tried every scan tool I have access to, and I think I'm beaten. I spoke to I emailed WhatsApp Russell Duncan. He says you really need VCDS, because sometimes I can give you codes that other scan tools can just not show. So before I leave this, you can chime in if you get any ideas. So you can see that 5 volts, 50%. This is on the Adblue pump, 5000 millibar, which is 5 bar. Let me see what else is here. No errors, no active. But the thing is, I cannot clear that message either through the SCR lock or anything like that, and I'll show you. So I watched a few videos, and they said if you have a message like that, you can clear it. But this one does not clear. So you go into engine control module. Right, I'll leave the ignition on. So if I go into engine control module, you know there's no trouble codes, right? But if you go into basic settings and you go into the SCR lock, reset SCR lock, right? It says it's not active, but you start that. Basic setting ended, right? So you escape out of that, but I still have the message on the dashboard. So no. Put the key off, put it back on. Still comes up that. So I'm beaten. Right, we've took another test drive. After speaking to my mate Dave Sterl, and he said just keep drive it and see if a code generates, because he's known them not to generate a code because the sensor could be a bit out, like the NOx sensor or the quality Adblue. So oh, this is bad. So anyway, here we go. So sitting here at idle with a warm engine, we're getting a figure of 140 parts per million. Now, is that normal? I don't know. Seems low enough. But when I'm decelerating, it goes to like 13 or 14. So that, to me, that's its leveling out. That's its like zero level. And when I'm accelerating, I'm going over 1,000. So I suppose the acid test is when I'm cruising. So I need to get to maybe 50, 60 mile an hour and see what kind of figures I get there. But just for let's just put the ignition off, put it back on. So I've seen that figure before. See this? The top one's went to like a default figure. We can maybe start her back up. Let's see if we can get it come. Unless I can just stop reading. So live D. So we're still reading 0 there. We need to get that to come back to life. Once that knock sensor stopped, when I stopped the car, it took a wee while to come back to life, even with a hot exhaust and a hot engine. So let's just watch this one. So we'll selected, useless. We'll graph it. So I'll try and do 50 miles an hour along this road. Right, when I was coming along the road there, at 50 miles an hour in top gear, I was reading 130 parts per million. Now I think that's too high. I'm sure I read somewhere you've got to be under 90 or something like that. So maybe if I put this Adblue injector, see if it's clogged. Put that Adblue injector out, and I don't know, looks pretty clean to me. Seen the worse than that, so let's give it a little rub with something. Oh, just use a little, I think it's a 5mm Allen key. It goes into that little bracket there and it comes out. I wonder if we can do a test on that, see if it sprays. So I've done one of these tests, pump for reducing agent, right? It says it's active, right? So what I've done is whipped the top of the injector. So that's where the urea fluid comes through. And you would imagine that it would come through with that test. But then again, there is another couple of hoses there. Is that for cooling? Is that for cooling the valve? I could do the test on that and I hear it click. Oh. So here's this test, SCR activation metering valve. So I hit that. So I go start. I'll take you out and you can hear it click. Can you hear that? Very slight click. Well, it checks to see if there's fluid coming through with the car running. There we go. So there is some there. And that's clean. Right, I'm giving it a run along the motorway, and as you can see, it's doing a DPF regen. The NOx readings are 170, 180, and my mileage just went down to 500 for the AdBlue fault left. But you can see my exhaust gas temperature is well up at 617 degrees centigrade. Well, that's centigrade, so that's high. So, but that's because it's doing the regen. So let's wait and see what the NOx levels are like after the regen, because Dave was telling me one affects the other. So the car's done its regen, right, and the temperature's coming down. That move, I think it was active to passive, blah blah blah. So let's give it a run now and see what our parts per million are like. But what I was going to say, I'm in generic OBD, which is easier to manipulate than the manufacturers. So let's go back down the road and see what figures we get here. And as you can see, we're down to 500 miles. So cruising down the road at 70, and there's the figures there, 190. That's high. I think so. That's light throttle. I don't think there's enough reduction taking place. Then I'll show you foot off the pedal at doing 70 mile an hour. Our figure goes down to that. So that seems alright. 5. Foot on the pedal. just checked the screen. The message has disappeared. Oh, is that it? Just a long drive? So to finish this video off, proof's in the pudding. Key is in. Car is started. And message has disappeared. So no scan tool was required. Cheers.